Another beautiful Sunday afternoon. This is Rubbin Minds. Welcome. My name is Ebuka Oshunde. Thanks so much for joining us on the show today. We're going to be kicking off things as we always do, looking back at the week that was, all the headlines that caught our attention in the past week. I have you with me, Wale Oshunde. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Starting on another sad note, I mean, we've talked about this for a couple of weeks here now on the show, and it's still ongoing. The Herdsmen and all of the issues around that. I mean, Benue State is still in mourning pretty much, and we are still trying to recover from the fact that, you know, there was a mass burial there without any federal government presence or sort of even a reaction that seemed like it was even emotional. But now we heard that 3 more people were killed, and were suspected to be killed by herdsmen in Adamawa State this morning. And so it's still something that's ongoing, and all through the week on channels we've seen discussions being held. What are we supposed to be doing at this point? I mean, the federal government doesn't seem to be doing enough, obviously, which is why this is still going on.
Firstly, my heart goes to the government and people of Benue and all other states that are ravaged, by all these unfortunate news. And then I think we should also commiserate with the people who have lost loved ones, in this incident. It is also very obnoxious that there was no federal government presence at any of those burial ceremonies, held at various places. It should not be like that, and I think it is condemnable. Now, going back to your question, we really need to do something. We should take the bull by the horn. I think the government needs to double up efforts on security of lives and property, which is the fundamental reason why there is the existence of government in any sane country, in any sane clime. As a matter of fact, what you find in Nigeria is the reverse. A situation where you are your own landlord, you are your own government, you provide water for yourself, you provide security for yourself, you provide everything for yourself. And it is unfortunate, and it should not be like that. We are a blessed country, and I think the government should start taking the right step, to ensure that all of these things do not happen again.
There's a lot of talk about the anti-grazing law, but there's also a conflict with a lot of people who are Fulani heritage saying, well, this is our way of life. How are we going to be able to resolve this? I mean, they're nomadic in nature, they move on graze, and most of us have grown up knowing that, but it has become a problem now. So where do we draw the line between, making sure that people's way of life is still kind of preserved without necessarily infringing on other people's rights?
I think going forward, the very sincere answer would be that we need to establish ranches. A lot of people have actually gone to town to even say that we should establish a number of ranches where all these cattle can be confined, and then we can easily monitor, the existence and then the passing of, cattle and all that. And then I think more fundamentally, because of the reality of now, we need to even employ something that is done in Botswana, where you have a tracking system. Every cattle has a tracker, and so you can monitor per time where a cattle is coming from and where a cattle is going to. So, but what you find in Nigeria is a situation where cattle can just move at will, and then they invade people's farms, and then they eat up the crops and all that. I mean, I was watching on Channels Television the other day, a former military officer who has invested over 150 million naira or so on his farm, somewhere in Oshunde or Ondo or something like that, and then had everything eaten up by all the cattle. And so I think that is really unfortunate, especially now that we are even trying to encourage agriculture. We want everybody to go back to the farms and all that. So how do I now go back to my farm in my own village when I'm not even sure that there is security of that farm? And so I think the government really needs to do something in this direction. If we really want to encourage people to take up all of these prosperous ventures, especially in agriculture, we really need to redouble our effort on security, and then we actually do the needful.
Yeah, I mean, we're hearing a lot of stories about, Mr. Vice President leading 9 governors to try and find a solution to this. Have we left things a little too late? And do you even see that there's a sense of urgency with this, I don't know, panel committee that's been set?
That is just my frustration about the way we do things in Nigeria. Everything is left to one committee or the other. We set up too many committees. Do you even want to kill these officials that are involved in one committee or the other? I mean, there are certain times that you really need to take very drastic measures absolutely urgently. Because you know that the urgency of now has called for you know, a timely statement and timely intervention of government. So why do we have to now go and set up a committee? The other committee that was set up about, you know, the convocation of a national conference, I mean, the fact that we want to continue to be together as a united force, as Nigerians and what have you, people have been talking about restructuring and all that. Where is the committee today? We have not even had anything. But, you know, I think what has been reoccurring in this country is a situation whereby people are clamoring for something, then you quickly set up a committee so that they can go low and then keep quiet and what have you, and then you continue the same thing again. And I think we should really stop that. I think the time is now for everyone in this country to come to that juncture where we actually hold government accountable to everything that they do to us in this country. So, and I think all these things should stop. It's not about the committee. Yes, I believe so much in the capacity of the vice president to lead whatever committee. But what we are talking about is the fact that we really need to take the bull by the horn right now.
I think it's also very interesting that this week there was a headline that caught a lot of people's attention, not in a good way, from Mr. President. I think he granted an interview, or he was giving a speech, sorry, and he talked about the fact that he's never in a hurry to do things, and he was trying to explain why, because he likes to take his time. And it's something that this present government has been criticized a lot for, the fact that they're very slow to act. And do you agree with him that it has paid off, and that's why he has been as effective in his own ways?
I don't believe that. Nothing has paid off because, I mean, we actually voted this government to right the wrongs of the former administration or the immediate past administration and probably successive administrations, if you call it, you know. But we have nothing has improved. I make bold to say it, and I say with all sense of responsibility. I do not think Nigerians are better off. I do not think they are happy. You know, I mean, things... I was coming here, and then the fuel queues are still there. And so what is now better off? We started this year with fuel queues, and then we are still, you know, witnessing same. And then what is improving? Agriculture is down, even employment, nothing like that. You know, it's from one battle of unemployment to the other. People are out there. We are still witnessing this Boko Haram thing, you know, Herdsmen now. And then even military, a lot of stuff. Just because Nigerians are very patient people, and I think we should continue to encourage ourselves, but then government should not take the Nigerian people for fools, because very soon, what you would see is that people would, start to react, because they don't want to die. And so I think that this government still has a lot of opportunity to right the wrongs in the land. And this should be a clarion call, you know, on them to do the needful, because 2019 is going to be a very defining moment for everybody through the power of their PV actually ensure that people are held accountable for whatever they do in this country.